So if you look through my eBay quite recently, you might have seen that I've sold off a lot of MCU stuff, and it's honestly because I'm a little bit worn out of the MCU. I think, like, I'm gonna keep, like, a few things. Like, I bought quite recently this Iron Man figure because I think he just looks amazing, and I really love Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. But Nick Fury is a character who I really like. I mean, he has the best line in Avengers 1, and it's Sam Jackson. You just can't help but love him. So I've had this figure here from the first Avengers movie for like years, ever since the first movie came out, and it's pretty bad. I mean, I used to replace the head with this custom one that has a bit of a better likeness, but the skin tones don't match, and it still looks quite crappy just because it was me in my customizing infancy pretty much. So yeah, it's not too great. So I decided to buy this figure here. This is the Secret Invasion figure, and this has a really good Sam Jackson likeness, but I'm not a fan of his outfit. He originally he kind of looks like a hobo. He has this red beanie on, which I didn't care for, so it's just in my fodder bin. But I think the figure itself, I mean, it looks good, and that's a very good start. However, this coat here needs to go because I do not care for this closed-up coat. I have a couple of replacements, and that's going to be the main focus of this video. So I'm actually really scared of cutting this open because I don't want to scratch the inside, so I'm just going to straight up destroy it, because I'm never gonna find a use for this coat. Oh, I feel like Hulk Hogan. So, okay, let's see what we're working with. So, crap coat off, and this is the most generic torso I have ever seen in my life. But we do have a couple of ideas for our replacement. So first off is the obvious one. That's this old Nick Fury coat, and he is falling apart, as you can see here, with this turtleneck. I can already tell I won't like this coat because it's really rigid. Okay, coat off. So let's see. This looks bad. I don't like this color at all. So yeah, I needed to have that on for like 5 seconds to realize how bad it looks. My second idea is this General Hux coat. So I bought a General Hux ages ago to make a Fox Magneto, but the neck turned out to be really short, and I just kind of couldn't really be bothered at the time, so it just lays in my fodder bin, and it has been there for years. But eventually I'd like to tell myself that I will get back to it. So here is the General Hux coat from the Star Wars Black series, and this is a pretty neutral coat. Look at this. This looks really good. It's gonna look even better when I replace his gloves, or well, his hands, with these old ones. And I have one more idea I would like to try. So if that doesn't work out, I think I'm going to be perfectly happy with this one. So last one, and the most annoying one to put on, is this like leather coat I have. And I used to have this on my old Wesker custom figure, but this looks kinda good, but I think I like the Hux one more. Yeah, I think we're gonna settle on the Hux one. So in a strange turn of events, I don't know how Hasbro used to make these old figures, but I've heated this up and this hand is not coming off. And I've pulled so hard after heating it up that the joint has just become ruined. But I've heated it up for so long and still it won't pop out of the arm. I have no idea what's going on, but I guess he will have to make do with these black hands. And looking at my fodder, I would assume I would have some actual brown hands, but turns out I don't. So that was a little bit of a revelation, but there's just so much black going on. So I think we're gonna do one very minor thing to spice him up a little bit, and that is we're gonna color the belt buckle silver. And we're just gonna use some straight up Vallejo silver. Furthermore, I'm not really on board with the eyebrow. I think it should be a little bit more like down, because he kind of, I don't really know what his expression is. It's extremely neutral, and I think Nick would benefit from having a little bit more attitude. So I'm just gently gonna take off the eyebrow with some acetone, and then I'll repaint it. So I'm just gonna gently remove the eyebrow with some nail polish remover, and then I'm gonna repaint. So funnily enough, I think the eyebrow is actually sculpted to be a little bit more like mean, but the paint just didn't come across very... I think the light, like the kind of like brownish paint they used for it, didn't really get the effect through. So we're gonna go in with straight up black, and we're just gonna see where we land when we follow the line. And then I think we're gonna try to lower it a little bit too. Okay, so after looking at a bunch of reference pictures of Nick, I found that there are like barely any pictures or instances of him when his pupil is covering up like the entire white bit. So I painted like a little bit of white underneath his eye. I don't know how easy it is to see, but I think that actually helped quite a bit with the likeness. And yeah, I think he looks a lot better now actually. I think the beard is a little bit too glossy. I might just go over that with some regular black to dull it down a little bit. So this is just standard Vallejo flat black. And we're gonna try to turn down this shine. I kind of wish that he didn't have like this much beard on this figure. I wish it was a little bit more like the first Avengers movie. I don't know if they're gonna keep this look for Nick Fury going forward. I didn't actually watch Secret Invasion. I heard it was like alright, but then I also heard it was bad at the same time, so who knows. Regardless, I'm fairly sure that Sam Jackson did a good job. So I did watch one scene of him like talking about how he had to like endure segregation and have his food in like a shoebox, and that was apparently a story that Sam Jackson took from his own life. So I think that was really cool. So beard dulled down a little bit. I won't really know 100% what it looks like until it's dried. Well, we've gone this far, we might as well put in like the little extra work. So I'm gonna very, very, very gently shade his wrinkles. I know I got like a little blotch on his nose, but I can just remove that later on. And I think the scars are a little bit too red, so I'm gonna use the same dark brown we're using for the wrinkles. So here's his head sculpt completed, and the beard is still a bit glossy, but that's mainly because of the light directly pointed at his face. I really, really like how the eye turned out. I think that little bit of white under the pupil really helped with the likeness, and then the scarring is a lot duller now, and I think the little bit of wrinkle work really helped too. So here he is more of like in an overview, and I think this looks great. I wish I had some different hands for him, but I think black is also quite fitting for his type of character. If I ever do get some replacement hands, I will put them on, but just like see how far we've come. It's like night and day in terms of likenesses, and even though this old Shaft likeness was better, you can see like how bad my sculpt work for that eye patch was. So yeah, just a quick little Nick Fury fix. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But if you want to stay ahead of me,
You need to keep both eyes open.